Hello everyone, my name is Sumana, and in today's video I'll be speaking to you all about a very interesting topic, which is self-leadership. Leadership is something wherein you try to influence others and sort of get your things done and give them direction to follow their goals. But self leadership is how you can control or your emotions and your thoughts and your behavior, how one can influence your own thoughts and behavior so that it helps you achieve your goals and your ambitions in the best way possible. Now that's self leadership. So we'll just talk a little about that, so that how such leadership qualities would help one to become successful in life and also lead a positive life. Now there are a lot of situations wherein you feel, as in, as a layman, you feel very confused a lot of times when you face a lot of rejections in life and you feel all negative, professionally, personally. A lot of times when you feel that your performance or academically or professionally, whatever you've done is not worthy enough, it's not satisfactory, and you feel bad about it. That's when you have to have leadership qualities wherein nobody else can make you happy or pacify you, but you yourself should pacify yourself and influence yourself, saying that you know what maybe you have to change this, and things would get better. I personally do that to myself when I feel I have taken a lot of risks in life, with respect to my professional goals, personal life. I always make sure that I tell myself that you know what, that's okay, and sort of regulate that within me, and that's when I do not feel bad even if I have had rejections. I feel that it's okay to keep trying, and that's an important attitude of a leader, wherein no matter what, you have to always stay positive and keep trying to achieve your goals. Just don't give up, right? If you see, if you want to understand or get leadership qualities, or feel like how do I become a good leader, the simplest thing to do is think about the best leader which who inspire you, right? It could be Narendra Modi, it could be Kiran Majumdar Shaw, it could be Indra Nooyi, it could be Donald Trump. So it could be anybody, okay? According to you, who could be the best leader, and then you sort of learn the life journey of this particular person, your favorite leader or your best leader. It could be your own father or mother, okay? It could be any person, and then you sort of understand their journey. Today, whatever position they are in, people must be like, okay, he's like the prime minister or he's the president of the country. So they don't even realize that what struggles people go through, and it's important to understand that person's journey and what were the skills they imbibed in order to sort of overcome those hurdles and reach their goals. And you sort of understand and see those experiences, learn from those experiences, and sort of imbibe those skills within you. That's the easiest way of developing leadership skills. Like, see what your leaders are doing, see what achievements they've done, see what mistakes they've made. Make sure that you don't repeat those mistakes, make sure you learn from the things that they have done, and see to it that you also lead a life like that, so that you also develop those leadership skills within you, okay? Nobody's a born leader. You just get these skills by learning and by practicing it yourself, right? So that's very important. As a leader, if you're like the CEO of the company, he will have like, so it's like that, okay? He has too little time, and he has power, and he has to look after people. So there's too little time, power, and people. So in such a case, you can't get authoritative just because you have the power, because dominating somebody won't really fetch you anything. You have to treat the other person as an equal, and That's when you sort of connect to that person, and you sort of make that person do their tasks. Now if you just say, oh, do this, do that, you have to change yourself, you have to do this, you have to do that, nobody's going to listen to you, because you're just dominating someone. That's not going to happen. Instead, if you try and understand the other person, treat them as an equal and explain it, that's when the other person it creates an impact, and he's gonna really listen to you, right? So if you want to develop such skills, you have to keep that in mind, right? Treat everybody as an equal. If you have the power, use it wisely, and treat your people as equal, right? Not Don't have that superiority complex for anything, right? So that's important. So there was this famous philosopher. His name is Marcus Aurelius. Okay, he was a great philosopher. He was the emperor of Rome, right? He said that happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So if you think right, you will feel happy, right? If your behavior, your thoughts are positive, and it's never bogged down by somebody else's comments, that's when you are happy, right? So I always believe, if somebody even says anything to you, or you don't have to, or if somebody questions your professional abilities, don't sort of start feeling bad about it. Instead, you just have to understand what is the kind of criticism they give, and see if it's really it really makes sense to you, and if it's genuine. And then if it's genuine, take it and make sure that it's end of the day, it's going to constructively help you. Okay, if somebody is criticizing you, so suppose I'm shooting this video, right? And if somebody says that, what, you could have done that in a better way, or you could do this, and then I take that suggestion, and that's something which is helping me, right? I can do a better job at my job. um, but then, so that's good. But then if somebody is being very mean to you, and and you feel that it's not necessary to take that suggestion, then you don't take that suggestion. You do not have to do that, right? You see what's best for you, you're the best judge, right? And then do things accordingly. So that's what happiness is, from your thoughts and from your behavior, right? It's never by the external behavior, it's always from what you feel within yourself. Okay, so you have to, in self leadership, this topic, do not lead others but lead yourself, right? You are your own leader. You don't have to uh, in self leadership, you don't have to think about others, but first think about yourself, right? Think about how can you get better at things. There's the founder of Visa, who is D Hawk. Okay, he said that if you want to lead others, spend 40% of your time in leading yourself. That's how important it is. Like 40% of the time in spending on yourself, that's leading yourself, which is spending 40% on self leadership, which is very important. And that's the uh, significance of self leadership. It's very important to understand your own self, then you can understand others. It's important to love yourself, and understand who you really are, before you sort of try and explain other people what they are. That's very important. So coming with this leadership are three important qualities which comes with self leadership, and I'll just talk a very briefly about these three points. Right now, in self leadership, the first point is about self awareness. Like, as I mentioned, you have to know who you are, right? Just understand what you are. um, it's like, just give yourself some time. You have to, you can have flaws, okay? You can have imperfections, and that's how it is. You cannot sometimes if things are too perfect, you will not like it, right? People, it's not nice, it's suffocating. Happiness is in those imperfections. So if you, whatever you have, your good points, your flaws, firstly learn to accept it. Okay, that yes, I am like this, I am flawed, and I'm happy to be flawed. That's how it is. You have to accept yourself the way you are. You know your strengths. Everybody has their own strong points and weak points, so you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you sort of understand that and you deal with it, that yes, I am like this, and I accept it. That's when, the moment you start accepting things, that's when you feel like, okay, you don't feel bad about it. Okay, if somebody has done something very bad to you, and then you sort of accepting the situation, that it's okay, it's done, nothing can be undone, right? When you start getting to that point, when you are like, ठीक है, it's okay, it's over, that's when you don't feel bad anymore. Okay, that's when you're like, you start understanding that this is life, right? And you have to be aware about that. You have to be aware that this has happened to you, and happened to yourself. So you have to firstly understand and be aware of the kind of personality you are. If I am I talk a lot, if I that's my personality, then I have to accept that. I can't be like, no, I don't talk. No, I talk loudly, or maybe I am like that. So you have to, I talk a lot, I'm very talkative, so I have to accept that fact. Instead, I can't go defending on that, because I know that that's what I am. So that's self-awareness, that's very important. Second thing is self-reflection. Okay, every day, after work, when you come back home, before you go to sleep, especially, spend like 5 minutes thinking about your day, how you've spent your day, how the people you met during the course of the day, the kind of things you did, what are the good things you did like, what are the things that made you happy at work. What's that, some days are, some days you feel low, you start thinking that what's that one thing which made me feel so bad. And then if you start thinking about that, and then you feel really dejected and all of that, and then you start thinking that, okay, fine, this has happened and it's okay, it's done, nothing can be undone. Once you start accepting things like that, that's when you feel, it doesn't affect you anymore. So sort of self reflect yourself every day. Spend like just 5 minutes on that. And sometimes it's like, just think about the situations when you could have acted in a better way, and think about that, and maybe next time you probably encounter a similar situation, you know how to deal with it in a better way, right? So that's called self reflection, right? Spend 5 minutes doing that every day, and that would really help you, just consciously, you can put in an effort to rebuild yourself in a better way, right? Third point is, and the last point is, self regulation, right? It's like reframing yourself. Regulation is like, how you react to situations, right? There'll be times when somebody who's very close to you, or maybe somebody uh, who's not very close to you also, but who's a part of you, you know that person, and they might, just giving an example, they might say something which you might not like very much, right? Maybe it's something which didn't go down well with you, something which you feel it's not nice, somebody is not supposed to say that to you, because everybody has their own choices. Now, for example, somebody's coming and telling you something that you have to do like this, okay, and but you know that you have a choice of not doing it, right? So if somebody is telling you, is trying to be authoritative to you, it happens in families, right? A lot. So they try to be authoritative, and they say, you should do things like this, you should do things like that. And then if it's genuine, yes, you can do it. But if it's something which I'm not comfortable doing, you will not do it. But then instead of that, if somebody is saying something, which is which seems like a controlling behavior, and then you respond in the same way, then it does not make sense. Rather, self-regulation is, just hearing it out, take it, whatever he said, accepting it, and then you sort of regulate your mood at that point in time. That is, you don't react to that person in the same way that person has spoken. That is self-regulation. That is control. That is, if somebody has been mean to you, don't have to be extra mean to that person by saying the same things or saying something else which can seem mean to the other person, right? Instead of that, if you don't react to that situation, don't get aggressive. You control your emotions. When you have to be, when you feel that I have to show my aggression and you don't show your aggression, that is self-regulation. That is self-regulation. Personally, to me, when I was in my early 20s, I was very impulsive. I used to react a lot in situations, and it was very weird. But then eventually, with age, with experiences, with time, with the people around me, I realized that it's not worth to react to situations. It's just not worth it. And you have to it's foolish to actually react to different situations. Rather, not react and regulate yourself, and make sure your actions speak louder than words. So that's very important. Another example of self-regulation is, if you're in a professional setup, you're in a meeting, and then your client or somebody, you have your boss is sitting with you, but the client is saying something which is maybe in an indirect way questioning your professional abilities. You don't have to react back and say something else to that person which may not be right at that particular situation. Rather, you keep quiet and maintain your professionalism, and that shows your personality, that shows your self-regulation, that you are not doing what the other person is doing. You rather choose not to say anything, and sort of be happy, right? You would see in a lot of situations when somebody, will be like, they always take sides. Sometimes you have people, you have friends, you have families who are together, sometimes you have siblings, or you have couples together, and then they fight, and then you have somebody, and they'll be like a third person. They'll obviously, sometimes you feel that they're taking sides, they're not understanding your side of the story, they're not understanding what you're going through as a person. They are just seeing the exterior side of the situation. They don't understand what you're going through. They say, right, unless you experience it, unless you're in that person's shoes, you don't understand things. So sometimes people will take sides, people will not understand what you're going through. So it's okay, everybody is not the same, and you can't change everyone. That's something I realized. You cannot, that's the most stupidest thing you can do, is to change people, expecting people to change. That's like the stupidest mistake one can make, and I used to make that at one point in time. But then I realized that there's no point in changing other people, because their thoughts cannot be influenced, because they are different sets of personalities, and I respect that. But it's very important to change yourself. What you can do in that situation is rather accept it, ignore it, and if it's something which is beneficial for you, definitely take that, and which will help you build yourself and do well in your professional life, and even in your personal life as well. So these are the qualities of a self leader, which is self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-regulation, right? Hope this video helps. It's not a very technical or a managerial video, but it's a managerial video, but it's not very in-depth, it's not very subjective. So I hope you like my video, and that's all for today, and thank you for watching it. Please do like and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and I'll come up with more such informative videos for all of y'all. And until then, bye.